All right. So before we start, pop quiz. What is this podcast going to be about today?
The Coen Brothers. Yes. Yeah, I remembered this time.
Okay, cool. I decided I'm going to air those episodes in order for the lulls, because
no, that's perfect.
It's hilariously amusing to me. Should have been the April Fool's episode, but we're not that smart. So what are you been up to?
I think I talked about Subnautica last time.
You did.
Yes, I've stopped playing that prematurely, I guess.
What happened?
I got to the point where I unlocked like the big sub, and I realized it made me more vulnerable than I was before, and it was like, oh my god, this fucking game. And it's just like the only game that's like felt kind of like Subnautica is BioShock to me, where it's like it's kind of like a horror survival game, but also something else at the same time, and it's like it's hard for me to play those games for more than like an hour at a time.
Yeah, well, I was actually gonna ask, did you beat BioShock?
I did actually, yeah.
See, I couldn't. I just couldn't keep going with it, like, which is a shame because I think I would really like it, but it's just one of those. The problem,
the middle drags.
That's what happened. Is like the middle started dragging, and I was already so spooked that I couldn't play the game for like more than, like you said, like maybe not even an hour.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's like I just couldn't make any progress, and it was like find 10 things, and I was just like, no, I don't think I will. Especially since some of those things were in the areas that I know are the extra spoopy areas, and I was just like, well, I guess I'm not going to go there and do that. So I guess I'm just not going to finish this game.
Yeah, I think at some point I was spoiled on the fact that you become a big daddy at the end. And so that like drove me to continue playing, because I was like, okay, I'll go until I'm a fucking big daddy, and then nothing will be able to touch me.
See, yeah, and like, because I was able to beat BioShock Infinite, because BioShock is just like, because Infinite was like just, I mean, it's still scary at times, but it's not.
It's more hard than scary.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, you have a companion pretty much the entire time, and like, you know, the environments are not quite as like horrifying and like flickery lights, jump scare death.
Yeah, exactly. They're not at all.
Yeah, so, you know, it was, and I enjoyed BioShock. I know people shit on BioShock Infinite like left and right, but I actually enjoyed it, probably because
it was a good half of a game. It was just too bad that they like decided to copy and paste the second half for some reason.
Yeah, okay. You mean like the second, like from the first half?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I think I probably enjoyed it a lot more on the basis of I never played BioShock as well. So like, you know, there was no feeling of, oh, okay, you know, like I've done this, like I've played a better version of this game, because I hadn't, because I was too scared.
I don't even know if necessarily I would even levy that complaint at Infinite. Like, it doesn't feel like BioShock.
Really. That's fair enough. And I don't know, because I didn't get very far in BioShock, so I don't even know. All I remember about BioShock is you start out as a dude and you progressively get powers and stuff. So, and I really did not get far into that game.
That core aspect is still there, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't think I played more than maybe like 2 hours of BioShock.
Oh, that early?
Yeah, no, I quit real fast. Like, I just like...
Well,
I got nowhere in that game, so...
Yeah, maybe don't play Subnautica then.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle it. I mean, honestly.
I might try it in VR just to like swim around the shallow areas and be like, ooh, this is pretty. But I would not try to play the game.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know, maybe. I mean, the sub might be fun to drive around. I mean, I might try it. I will try it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely, like, I'm trying to think of the last game that I played that was actually scary that I forced myself through. Because there was something fairly recently. Let me look at my Steam list really quick. Maybe because I did. Like recently, within like maybe like the past 6 months to a year. What the hell?
That's recent.
What did I play that was scary? That like I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. Well, shit. Half-Life Alyx. That was one of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. That game is terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, I swear there was something else though. I don't remember what it was. There was definitely something that wasn't that, where I was like, this is really scary, but I'm still gonna finish it. And I don't see it on my list. So I don't remember what it was. I don't think it was Control. Well, Control. Actually, you know what? Maybe it was Control.
No, Control definitely is scary.
Control was a little scary at times. It wasn't.
Yeah, at parts.
Yeah, it wasn't like tremendously scary, but like there was definitely parts where I was like, "Ooh, this is spoopy." Yeah, I
guess BioShock 2 for me. I played that recently because I got the pack.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so tough because it's like there's so many games that like I know like instinctively like are going to be good, but I just can't bring myself to play them, which is unfortunate.
Sure, because it's obvious what like emotion they're gonna elicit.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's like, is this necessary? Do you really have to like jump scare me like at every possible opportunity? Like if there's too many like Dead Space, like I feel like I would enjoy Dead Space if not for the fact that Dead Space is a horror game, and I'm just like I'm not gonna be able to play this.
Yeah, I think I got like BioShock. I only got like 2 hours in Dead Space.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad enough when there's like some games where like I have trouble watching someone else play them. Like it's like that's how I know it's like this is probably not for me. Oh man, so I thought I was gonna have Kingdom Come Deliverance done before this podcast, and now I feel like I obviously didn't finish it because I got to what I thought was going to be the last mission or maybe last couple missions. And I guess I'm at the siege right now. I'm trying to not do any spoilers, but the siege of that one castle.
Yes, yeah. You're very close to the end.
I'm very close, but like I wasn't like 1 hour away from being done. I think I might be several hours away if I choose to do all the. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not.
You might be 2 hours away.
Okay,
at most.
Even still,
you actually are extremely like the ending kind of sneaks up on you.
Well, yeah, I mean, considering you said that it's meant to be like a trilogy or something, and they obviously
have to be a trilogy.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to end kind of in the middle of things,
which I do believe is the second game is being made right now. Like I think they made good money on the game, and they still have like a financial backer.
Okay,
so
well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Fingers crossed, it still is coming.
Fair enough. I will say, your spoiler that you mentioned the last time came much the hell later than you think it did. Like that spoiler was like towards like the last, like I think I saw it like 2 missions ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So just FYI.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. I thought it was like right after, cause it's the cliff scene, right?
No.
Oh, okay. There must be a way to proc it earlier.
Maybe there is.
Cause there's a scene right after you.
Yeah, I didn't find it out till I get captured in like the 3rd or 4th to last mission.
Oh, because you can find it out after the mines, I think.
Oh, well, then there you go. Okay, I didn't even know that, but
I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm just completely wrong and remembering it incorrectly though. Still, that is like 60% chance possibility, honestly.
Fair enough. But yeah, so I will say though, I found the whole did you? Like the monastery, did you actually do the monastery quest or did you just cheese it and like go in and kill the guy?
So my first playthrough of the game, I put in about 60 hours.
Uh-huh.
And I played at release and I got to the monastery and my game broke.
Ooh.
So I immediately started a second playthrough and got to the monastery in 30 hours and like followed the quest line exactly.
And how many hours did that take?
A lot. I think I got out on like the 3rd or 4th day though still.
Oh, wow.
You can do it pretty quick still.
Yeah.
Because you have time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, the monastery is great, but I never want to do it again.
Yeah, I feel like I was such a high level when I got to it that I kind of trivialized a lot of it because it's like I started looking at like the quest rewards and I was like, oh, this gives you the key to the what's it called? Like this gives you the key to the forbidden books. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
Well, here's the funny thing too is I did the ghost quest, like the ghost side quest. I already had the key.
Oh my god! Wow, nice.
I just had it like in my inventory, so I was just like, I don't need this. It's like I could just open it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is pretty trivial at this point. And getting lockpicks was super easy. So I was just like,
yeah, no, that is super easy.
Yeah. So I was like, do I really want to find all of the pages to this book? I don't think so. Do I really want to get like this wine or whatever shipped in? I don't think so. I think that I'm just gonna kill the guy because I figured out who it is. And so I did. I think maybe.
Oh, you just killed him.
No, I did a day and a half. I did a day and a half of the monastery.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I did like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
But yeah. I
I
did pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Like I came in on the first day. I experienced, and then I slept. And I gathered information like on the day that I came in. Then I did one whole day just to like get a feel for it, and then that night I killed the guy and left.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, that felt right. Like that was enough time. Although I could see if I got there a lot earlier, it being a really interesting and compelling quest. But like by that point, I was already like 80 hours into the game, and I'm like, I'm getting ready to finish this. You know, I'm starting to wear towards. But it's a really interesting idea. Like, you know, you strip yourself of all of like your equipment theoretically. You know, even though I was able to lockpick. You know, out of the monastery, really? Call my horse over, and because I put all my shit on my horse.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, I'll just, you know, do that and not have any shit that I need. I didn't actually wear any of it, but I was like, if shit goes wrong, this door's unlocked, I can just grab my horse. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, the next time if I ever played through that quest line again, I would just slaughter the entire monastery just to save time. Just like, okay, I've done this. Like, I'm gonna bop everyone on the head real quick, and I'm done.
Oh yeah, I mean, like if I was gonna do it again, I might just lockpick into the monastery, go right for the guy, kill him, and leave. Because it's like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm in full plate armor. What you gonna do, bro?
Punch me? No, you're not.
Yeah. Ow, my hand.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what else has been going on? Oh, have you ever watched a certain scientific railgun?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So we finished that. We're going back now and watching a certain magical index.
You watched it out of order. Interesting.
Well, here's the thing, right? So
I mean, there's not really an order.
It would be a much different. I feel like I would like magical index less having not seen railgun first, because the big complaint that I heard about Index is that it's rushed.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like some of the places, at least, like I'm pretty early. Like I am in the second season arc of Railgun. Like I'm in that part of the first season of Index right now, and they don't explain shit about that. Like with the sisters, like they don't explain anything about what's going on in Index, like, and so like you got like basically a whole season in Railgun on explaining what's going on and all that, and so like watching it in Index, I'm just like, I would have been so fucking lost at this point. I would have been like, what is happening here?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like they do that on purpose. They want you to feel lost.
Yeah,
maybe that was
so maybe there was something lost there.
I'm too generous though. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean. So because I don't know how the mangas are like in terms of pacing, but
yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, but I mean I could definitely feel like already, like I think because we're what, like 15 or 17 episodes into the first season of Index, and I'm like, yeah, this feels rushed. Like, and it also feels like of a slightly lower quality than Railgun was.
Yeah, no. Railgun gets the benefit of Index already being popular.
Yeah,
when it was made.
Because Railgun was fucking great, man. That was a really good anime. Like all things considered.
Yeah, I mean I think she's the more interesting character.
Yeah.
Tokusa? No, that's the teleporter, right?
Mikasa. Mikasa Makoto.
Mikasa Makoto. Yeah, I knew it was an alliteration of some kind.
You know, man, like, I'm actually right there with you. Like, a lot of times I will watch an entire anime, and then if somebody's like, what was the main character's name? I was like, the blue-haired one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Like, I don't know why. Like, I mean, names go over my head in the best of times, and, like, when I'm just, like, watching an anime, like, I'm just like, it's just words. It's just words.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
oh yeah, it's a big problem.
It's a big problem.
Especially when I'm like that happens in my personal life, but also books. Just like reading a book, it'll be like, am I supposed to know who this character is?
Oh
like,
God, that's the worst.
It's just like this name looks like 12 other names, and I didn't bother to memorize it. Like, who is this?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, Game of Thrones was like, I mean, I never read Game of Thrones, but I watched it, and that was the worst for that, because they like had so many close character names, and it was just like, and then like, you know, I think I was catching up for the first 4 seasons, and then I was real time from that point on. And like once it got to real time, it was hopeless. I was just like, wait a second, this character was from 3 years ago. Like, you gotta set that up, man. You gotta be like, oh, you gotta give me an anime style. Oh, hello, blah blah blah, who I know from blah 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 and is blah blah blah. Like, it's like, thank you. That's what I need. I need you to tell me exactly who you are in some really ham-handed exposition, because I don't fucking know. No recollection there.
Yeah, I had the benefit of reading the books. I had that experience reading the books, and then by the time the TV show came out, it was like the second time around.
Yes.
It was just like, okay, yeah, that guy. Oh, that's who that guy. It helps to put a name to a face.
Yeah.
Like an actual face.
Okay, but corollary to that though is, so I'm watching Index, right? And like at one point, like one of the other characters shows up, but they're dressed differently than they were dressed in the other scenes. And like, so he says his name. He's like, oh, Sukamuchi Much, or whatever the hell his name is. And I'm just like,
sure, whatever.
And it's like, okay, clearly this character knows who this is, but I don't, because he's dressed differently. And now it's hopeless. It's like, you can't do that, man. There's not enough visual information in the way a lot of anime characters are drawn. You can't just change the outfit on me. You gotta set me up with more than that.
Have you seen JoJo's?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I was about to say you would like JoJo's then, because they all have very distinctive, standardized outfits.
Yeah, we had an entire podcast that was ostensibly supposed to be talking about JoJo, and then
right, yeah, God, wow.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
you've done so many of these now.
We have.
Actually, I've forgotten some of them.
I mean, this is currently the 17th episode that we are recording right now at this very moment. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
That is actually kind of. I mean, like, considering they were each about about 2 hours, like, and we talk for more than 2 hours. Like, you guys get 2 hours, but like there's definitely some filler in there that is worthless. But I cut out a lot of the silence and stuff like that. But
yeah, you got to get the momentum of the conversation going.
Absolutely. But so we didn't really ever talk. In that podcast, we did not actually talk that much about JoJo, but yeah, I mean, fucking, like, the thing that I love about JoJo the most is because of how ridiculous the main characters are all drawn. It's just like, it's that whole art, the whole.
Who's the stand user in this crowd?
I know. It's like the entire Egypt arc. It's like, wait, we have to find the stand user. It's like, okay, well, there's like 25 people that are like,
in suits.
Yeah, 4 feet tall and drawn in suits. And then there's one guy that's like 9.5 feet tall and is like covered in like leather and chains and spikes.
Yeah.
It could be anyone. Who knows?
Who could it be?
Who could it be? Fucking I think I heard a rumor that the next season is coming soon.
Yes. What is it? It's Stone Ocean.
Yeah, it's the one where it's the girl JoJo, right?
Yeah, I'm excited because I don't. The manga does not like. I like the variety of locations, and reading the manga, like, I have trouble getting into it for some reason for Stone Ocean, but like the anime is going to really clarify the visuals, and I'm excited to see it like in its full glory.
Well, that's the thing, is like, I feel like there are some anime that don't really benefit that much from being anime. And then I feel like there's things like JoJo where it's almost like you're doing a disservice if you're not watching the anime.
Yeah, I mean, JoJo author, insert name here, goddamn, fuck, what's his name? Anyway, like, he's an amazing artist and everything, but like, yeah, it cries for animation because of how complex everything that's happening is.
Oh yeah, and I mean the thing is, like, because I mean, no shade on the manga artists, because like they're the ones that inform like the style of the anime, and what it's gonna look like. But like the fact that like having JoJo be animated,
Araki, by the way,
Rocky
is Araki.
Iraqi. Okay. Yeah. Like,
I don't want to butcher his first name. Hirohiko Araki. That's probably not pronounced correctly though. Or fuck, his first name is his. Oh, god damn it, whatever. Araki is his first name, right? I always forget. I've been out of the anime loop too long. I've forgotten the rules.
Yeah, man. It's every consonant goes with a vowel. So it's all little individual chunks. But what else? Oh, by the way, everybody out there. So the question asked by no one, but if you want to help support the podcast, because obviously we just do this, but the only thing that we ask is, if you like the podcast out there, everybody, tell some people, let some people know, because we'd love to have some more people listen in on this. It's fun for us. It's fun for us to hear what you guys think of our bullshit ramblings. So if you
yeah, I do. Yeah. The reaction to the Witcher podcast is still like a highlight.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Like that was some of my
great.
favorite shit that's happened. Is the absolute just like fucking like angry comments that we got. Yeah. I very much enjoyed that. So definitely do that, man. Like, if you like this podcast, just tell a couple people about it. See if you can get some other people to listen, and maybe they will too. Who knows? But so that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, what else? What else is going on? I think
I watched. Have I talked about The Great already?
The what?
The Great.
The Great. No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's like a comedy. Historical comedy show about Catherine the Great on Hulu.
Oh, yeah, you talked about this last time.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Did I also say that I watched the HBO Catherine the Great show after that?
I think you said you were going to. I didn't know.
Yeah, okay, well, I did.
And?
Yeah. I think it's great. I mean, it's just more, if you're at all interested in history stuff, I would check both of those. I would check, especially the HBO one out. I thought it was very interesting.
You think The Great is great?
Yeah, and Catherine the Great is great. I mean, she was a horrible despot, but also great.
Fantastic.
Better than the previous despot.
Who was
the string of despots that continued after her.
Who was the previous one?
Yeah, I don't mean it in like I mean literally she was a despot, right? Like,
who was the last
literally. one? Whatever, the Romanovs.
Okay.
The ones who got like killed in the revolution.
I don't know enough about. I don't know. I don't know things about history, Steven.
I mean, that's a pretty you learned that. You just forgot.
Steven, I learned lots
Romanovs.
Of things that I forgot.
But not knowing about the Romanovs is like not knowing about like the Beatles.
No. I do know about I didn't know where they fit in the timeline.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, sure.
Yeah.
But yes, they were the last czars of Russia.
Got it. Anything else to talk about before we get into it?
Dive in. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing like Path Exile again and Civilization a little bit.
Dude, we need to play Diablo 3. I know we talked about that, but we need to actually.
No, we need to play Diablo 2.
Well, we need to do that too, but I feel like I want you to experience Diablo 3 in all of its glory at least one time.
Yeah, I mean, I have it. We could do that. Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah, I just need to finish whatever the fuck. I need to finish Kingdom Come, which should be soon, but then maybe I'll see where the season's at and boot up Diablo 3 and just blast through and get a
I mean, who cares about the season in Diablo 3?
I don't really care, genuinely.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm playing Path Exile again like a month and a bit into the league, which I never do. Yeah. I think I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Coen Brothers.
Yes. We finally got to it.
The topic from so let me so in the intervening time where we had some extra time and so I was able to watch another movie, I did also watch True Grit in addition to Barton Fink and Raising Arizona. So now I have watched a number of things.
Oh, great. I ended up watching Blood Simple.
Oh.
That's the one I added. I decided, why not go for their first movie, see what their debut was, essentially.
Interesting. Okay. There's more on these than okay, so yeah, because I'm just looking through the list. So I've seen Raising Arizona, I've seen Barton Fink, I've seen Fargo, I've seen The Big Lebowski, I've seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I've seen No Country for Old Men, I've seen Burn After Reading, I've seen True Grit, and I think that is everything.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen, the only one I would add to that list for myself is A Serious Man, and I think I've seen parts of Hail Caesar and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs as well.
Oh, interesting.
But not the full movies.
Got it. So, what would you say if you were to because here's the thing with the Coen Brothers, right? I think, and this is my hypothesis that I will post.
Your high IQ take.
Well, it's definitely an IQ take. We can decide later if it was a high or a low IQ take, but it's definitely an IQ take. I think that their movies have a unifying theme. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I agree.
And what would you say that unifying theme is?
Life happens.
So I have a bunch of different things written down, but I think that maybe the thing that is the most compelling argument that I can make that I think kind of ties everything together is that the movies seem to have some degree of somebody underestimating somebody. Like, whether it's the audience or it's the characters in the movie or both, I feel like there's always some theme of, like, underestimation. And I'm going to try and justify that. So, like the easiest example for me that I think about is Fargo, which you did say you watched, right?
Yeah, I've seen Fargo.
Yeah, because you watched that for the last podcast. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been stretched over a few months now, but I have seen 3 Coen Brother movies for this podcast.
Yeah, because I think that, like, there is some element of both the like the viewer and then subsequently like the characters underestimating the main cop, whatever her name is.
Yeah, and she's also the main character of
Marge.
Oh, but what's her actual name?
Yeah, Frances McDormand.
Yeah, Frances McDormand. She's also the main character of Blood Simple.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah,
so I think she's a
and she's in Burn After Reading as well. She's like kind of one
of course,
one of the main characters of Burn After Reading. But yeah, like. So, like, I think that, like, initially, because, she, like, you know, she sees, and that's another thing, by the way, is there's a lot of elements of, like, kind of, like, folksy people, I guess, like, being underestimated by the characters, and then to some degree, kind of, like, they weave it such that you, as the audience, are meant, at least initially, to underestimate them as well. So, what would you say to that?
I think it's not really that, like, one group of people is underestimating another group of people or anything like that. I think the theme is maybe more accurate to say that, like, you can't estimate people.
Okay, that, like, maybe that's even a better one, because, like, yeah.
One of the things I have written down here is just, like, all of, like, their side characters, for instance, like, they're all just as, like, essentially as well developed, or at least, like, they present themselves as being as well developed as all the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there aren't really side characters in their movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than, like, the literal, like, extras in the background, but, you know, it's a movie.
Yeah, no, that actually is that's a good point, because, like, even the one that I'm thinking about right now, like, because I just watched it, but like True Grit, like, you don't see and obviously, by the way, everybody's probably spoilers for all of these movies we talk about, so I'll try to say the name of the movie before I start talking about the movie. But, like, you know, like, if I say the name of the movie, we're gonna do spoilers for that movie.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so
just go watch, like, 7 Coen Brother films real quick.
Yeah,
you know, it's no big deal.
Yeah, no biggie. Just real quick, and then turn the podcast back on.
Also, I just looked this up because I realized there's a word for it. Sonder, the realization that, like, everyone has a full life.
Mm-hmm.
That's their movies, essentially. Kind of. Well, I think it's more. There's more than that. Well, that's like an important element.
We'll have to discuss that, because I'm not. Because I know what you mean. Actually, it's funny. I can't remember what podcast it was, but you mentioned that exact term.
Oh, have I really? Okay.
For a different set of movies.
Yeah. Oh, probably for a Mind Game, I imagine.
It might have been Mind Game. Actually, that sounds right.
Which I also think is Mind Game and the Coen Brothers. I think share actually a lot of, like, deeply held beliefs, because I feel like watching all of their movies now, or not all of them, but a good number of them, it's just like, okay, like, they very much feel that, like, life is kind of this, like, ongoing series of events that, like, you know, it's not random, but it's, like, semi-random almost.
Yeah. Because what I latched onto, right, is I latched onto, there is, and this is one of the other things I wrote down, is like, there's often, and this is not the case for everything, and I'll tell you the one that breaks it for sure for me, but there's often a character in their movies who is kind of like a folksy character, right? You know, somebody that's, like, a little bit like, you know, like salt of the earth type of a person, you know, who has a tremendous amount of confidence in themselves, despite overwhelming circumstances. So in this case, I'm thinking about Marge in Fargo. Marge to a lesser degree, because she is actually very competent in a way that maybe some of the other characters are not. But but then Frances McDormand's character in Burn After Reading is a very similar character in the sense of, like, very confident herself, like very much thinks that, like, you know, she understands and is in control of a situation she very much is not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of the little girl, Maddie in True Grit. And I'm also
I have not seen True Grit, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's not going to be a useful.
But I do know. I know who Maddie is.
Okay,
in the context of True Grit.
You're familiar enough with the story. And I'm also thinking about like just all of the main characters in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You know, like,
Yes.
and like, you know, or what's his face? Actually, both of the main characters in Raising Arizona. You know, both Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter's characters. You know.
Yeah, and I think that ties right back into what I was saying about just like, you know, because life is this like chaotic series of events. Mm-hmm. You kind of just have to ride it, and you know that, and so like that's the thing they respect is like someone who can like has, you know, the kind of self gusto to just like keep trudging on.
Yes, yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, then I think I do see what you're saying here. Is it's basically
I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah, that there's basically these characters are there. There's a word for it too. It's like indomitable, I guess, is the word. Where it's
yeah, sure, that works.
This is like you can't possibly break their spirit, you know. But then there's also characters like Barton Fink in Barton Fink, who I see as just absolutely 100% not getting it, you know. Like
he's not meant to be a positive character.
Yeah, and you know, and the character that you're really underestimating is like John Goodman's character in that, where it's like John Goodman in many other Coen Brothers movies might have been the main character, and Barton Fink is just somebody who's dismissive of them, but they kind of turn it around in Barton Fink and have Barton be the main character who just absolutely the entire time does not get John Goodman's character at all.
Yeah, I don't think the Coen Brothers are afraid of like looking at all of the facets, right? Like they're just like, yeah, some people are like bad, and like some people don't get it, and they're fully willing to just like put those people in the spotlight too. Though they're not just like, okay, we only have folksy hero character.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're a one-trick pony for sure.
Yeah, yes.
I think I just like I feel like every time I watch one of their movies, I'm looking for certain elements, and I usually find them. Usually, we'll have to, No Country for Old Men is the one that for me is kind of notwithstanding. It's kind of that one's a tough one to fit into my unified theory of Coen Brothers, because it is a little bit. I feel like No Country for an Old Men is a little bit of an outlier compared to everything else I've watched by them. I don't know if you agree with that.
I mean, first off, No Country for Old Men is a book by Cormac McCarthy.
It is, but so is True Grit. I mean, not by the same author, but it's also a book.
Sure, but like I think you know, probably my take would be No Country for Old Men probably just spoke to them in terms of like the good and evil dichotomy, and not so much to their like themes of like, you know, joie de vivre kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that even, I mean, I don't even know if that's an appropriate phrase for what I'm talking about. I don't want to keep saying the word sonder. I hate the word sonder. It's just like, it's ugly to say.
It's definitely a word that doesn't, it doesn't feel like it means the thing that it means.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
It doesn't evoke the emotion of like that realization.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Now, one thing I will mention on Barton Fink real quick. Did that movie remind you of anything else other than the Coen Brothers?
Yes. Oh, other than the Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, every John Goodman film ever made.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say, and you tell me if I'm crazy on this one, but while I was watching Barton Fink, I was like, this is really Lynchian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a very dreamlike movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially like because you know, we've talked about David Lynch before, and the thing that I've said many times about David Lynch is that he kind of captures this like uncomfortable awkwardness. And there's also the often with David Lynch these kind of elements of like just really like weird, like nonsensical type of like supernatural stuff, you know, where just like all of a sudden like all sorts of weird shit starts happening, and like like the you know, John Goodman's character like literally basically being the devil and like burning down the hotel, you know, and like all of like the goo like coming off the walls and stuff like that, you know, that all felt really extremely Lynchian, where I was like, is this a David Lynch movie? Like, this is definitely a Coen Brothers movie, right? Let me just look this up. No, it's definitely Coen Brothers. It's not David Lynch. So I found that to be a really interesting kind of like, for me, it's a departure for them, because I don't think that they've done anything that's like that.
But you haven't seen A Serious Man.
I have not.
And I would say, in a way, I think Barton Fink might be like one of their more personal movies.
Okay.
In that, like, I think they probably, I don't know if this is accurate, but they see either something of themselves or like their like past in like the character Barton Fink.
Okay.
Because A Serious Man is a much more like direct audio, like, kind of like, it's a very like almost autobiographical of their like lives, like, but in a very thematic way, not in any way like story based. And that movie has a character that's very much like Barton Fink, where he's just kind of like lost the entire time, and horrible things just keep happening to him, and he doesn't know how to deal with them, and he just keeps making it worse. And it's like, I guess because he avoids the problem, and it's like, that's like those are their like, I want to say they're like bad people movies, right? It's like, Blood Simple and Fargo, The Big Lebowski, I guess, to a certain extent, like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Those are all like kind of like, they're positive movies, ultimately.
Yeah.
Whereas like A Serious Man and Barton Fink like are not positive. Like they're just, it's like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Everything that happens is just horrible the whole time, and it's bad.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes life is horrible, right? Like, and I think that's part of their like their honesty at looking at life. Almost.
Would you say that the character of Barton Fink has some similarities to the character that what William H. Macy plays in Fargo, Jerry Lundegaard?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'd forgotten about him.
Yeah, I feel like they're similar characters, where it's like you have somebody who like you said, like just keeps going in the face of adversity, but not like in a positive, like, I'm just going to trudge through and everything's going to be fine. Just like in a wading deeper into shit and just ignoring it kind of a sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, this is bad, but if I just keep going, maybe I'll just tunnel straight through the earth back to the other side. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. You're just going to
keep going deeper.
You're just going to keep going deeper. I think that's a similar parallel of just like they have the character that overcomes adversity through just positivity, and then there's the character that it's not positivity, it's just ignoring reality. They don't accept that they have done a bad, and doing more bad is not going to pull them back out of it. I think a very similar character, actually related to Fargo, is the what's his face? Like Martin Freeman's character in the first season of Fargo.
Yeah, I mean, he is just the Fargo character.
Yeah, he is just Jerry Lundegaard again.
He's Jerry Lundegaard. I mean, the Fargo TV show is just derivative. I mean, it's great. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But it's thematically derivative, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, because characters like in like The Big Lebowski, like, I mean, fucking, which by the way, I will just say, like, Jeff Bridges, man, holy shit, what a good actor. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Because, I mean, I just finished watching True Grit, and he's like outrageously good in that. It's worth it. Like, if you've not watched True Grit, go ahead.
I was about to say, is he the guy in the handcuffs for most of the movie?
No. He's the sheriff.
Okay, yeah. Who's the guy in the handcuffs? What actor is that? Who, like, the little girl tries to shoot but fails.
Oh, well, he's not in the handcuffs for most of the movie. He's actually only in handcuffs for a very
that's just
brief period.
Tiny scene.
Yeah, it's like a tiny scene. But no, that's Josh Brolin.
Oh, that's Josh Brolin, right.
Who's also a fantastic actor.
Yes, yeah. That's one of the scenes I've seen, and that's just like, that's such a good scene.
Yeah, well, and actually, I was gonna ask, like, is A Serious Man comedic in any way?
It's like a really, really dark comedy, I guess, kind of. It's not. I didn't find it funny.
Okay, because I mean, like, what I'm wondering is, because No Country for Old Men is pretty much the only Coen Brothers film that I've watched that is not in any sense comedic. Like, No Country for Old Men is just like a kick in the nuts, like, from start to finish. Whereas nothing else that I've watched by them, everything else that I've watched by them has a pretty strong juxtaposition between like extreme violence and like really comedic elements.
I would say Blood Simple actually is not very comedic.
Okay.
I can't think of any funny bits. I think they maybe developed that comedy aspect.
Because
pretty much immediately after Blood Simple.
Yeah, because it's there in Raising Arizona. I mean, Raising Arizona is like actually laugh out loud funny for pretty much the whole time.
Okay, wait a second. They did Blood Simple, which is not very funny.
Yep.
And then they did Crime Wave with Sam Raimi. And then after that, all of their movies are a little funny. It's like, I wonder if Sam Raimi like really rubbed off on them.
They also only wrote Crime Wave. They didn't direct it. So
yeah, I wonder if they watched Sam Raimi direct and were like, oh, like you can like be a little funny, huh?
Yeah.
Like you can put some humor in your shots. I like that. We're gonna do that from now on.
I've never watched Crime Wave, by the way. I don't like. I can see it as
yeah, I mean, maybe it's not funny at all. Yeah.
Well, it says
but
it's
Sam
an
Raimi's.
I mean, it says it's an American comedy horror written by Sam Raimi, so I assume that it's going to be. But
yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's my headcanon now for the Coen Brothers. Is they're just channeling a little Sam Raimi now forever.
it makes sense to me. And also, actually, speaking of Raising Arizona, and also great actors, holy shit, Nicolas Cage in Raising Arizona.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's one of his good movies.
Yeah, I mean, like not to do the bit from Community where is Nicolas Cage a good actor? It's like,
yeah,
but
yes, the answer is yes.
Is Nicolas Cage a good actor? I mean, I think Raising Arizona says yes. If he really wants to, my God, could he be a good actor?
Yeah, he's not always a good actor, but he is capable of being a good actor.
Yeah, I think Nicolas Cage is definitely capable of phoning it in. But when he wants to, he can turn it on, and boy, does he in that movie. Yeah. Holy shit, man. Yeah, actually, like
Raising Arizona is so good.
There's a lot of actors that like they just do like they do a really good job with. They do a really good job. I mean, John Goodman in Barton Fink, John Goodman in The Big Lebowski. Yeah. Like, I mean, he's fantastic in those movies. Like
I mean, I think it's like it's a kind of a dream to work for the Coen Brothers as an actor. I imagine because they're like their movies are like so down to earth and universal. Yeah, it's like I one of my notes here is just like the naturalistic dialogue. Also, is one of those things that just like really feeds in to this like feeling of everyone being a real person in their movies. And it's like it must be like a dream to do that as an actor. I'm sure.
It's interesting you say naturalistic dialogue. I'm wondering, is it naturalistic dialogue or is it the like the feeling and appearance of naturalistic dialogue?
Well, it's a movie. Obviously, it's the feeling and appearance.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's a facade. I mean,
yes, I mean, unless the movie is literally, ad-libbed, in which.
So what I mean, I the most recent movie I watched is Blood Simple, so I'm just going to reference that here. But like, there's a scene where a character does something in Blood Simple. And he doesn't talk or explain himself in any way because he's just the only person there doing it. And it's just like, yeah, that's great. Like, a lesser movie might like have him like, like be like, oh, well, I got to do this now because of reason, like to himself, just to like really drive it home. But the Coen Brothers are just confident. They're just like, no, like he wouldn't say anything here. Like, we're just going to do it.
Okay, no, I think I understand that. I think that.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, but it's more like almost the lack of like saying things sometimes plays more into it than anything.
Because I feel like I don't know. The only reason why I'm kind of like a little bit in the air on that particular point is because like when I think of those movies, like I it feels very like beat for beat, that like. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I guess I'm trying to think about.
I mean, like in Fargo, when like she like at the opening scene with the coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're you know what? Here's the problem. It's because I just watched True Grit, and True Grit has a very different style of speaking than most of their other stuff. That's where I'm getting confused because True Grit, it's very much like because it's a Western and
so they're speaking like stage, like they're on the stage.
Yeah,
I imagine.
Yep. And that's where I'm getting screwed up. Is okay.
That's just because it's a Western, and that's just they're imitating the style.
Yep. No, because you're right. Like like Fargo with the coffee scene. Right. I love that scene, by the way. It's just like
it sets everything up just perfectly.
Don't know if I totally agree with your police work there, Lou.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that, Lou.
God, it's like what I as you know, because I quoted it and you had no idea what I was talking about. I quote that shit all the time. I think it's like one of my favorite things to say. It's like anytime I'm like, I don't totally agree with what you just said there. It's like, I don't know if I totally agree with your police work there, Lou.
I don't know about that. Yeah, it's so great. Yeah. I also like just as do we have anything else to say on this?
No, keep going.
Oh, well, I think I'm gonna move a little bit here when I say this.
Well, okay, let me make one small point then before you move on.
Exactly.
I also love in Fargo that Marge is pregnant, and it basically has almost nothing to do with the movie start to finish. It's just a thing that is.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's exactly. I mean, that's their movies.
Yeah, and that is one point where I really feel what you're talking about, of just like life is just happening, It's just like this thing is just
sometimes you're pregnant.
Yeah, sometimes you're pregnant, and like it has some small bearing, but like it's not a major plot point, It's not like, oh, I couldn't catch the guy because like I was too tired, It's just like, no, she fucking like. At the end, everything
it has exactly the bearing that it would have on her.
Exactly. Which is, I love that about that movie. Okay, so sorry. Yeah. Now you may digress.
Well, yeah. This is. I feel like because I've watched Blood Simple now, and I think I've seen movies from pretty much every era. Just like they have, they write, they direct, they do the cinematography. They're like, I think they're directors of photography most of the time, probably too. Mm-hmm. I should confirm that before I say that, because director of photography is pretty. Like, oh no, Barry Sonnenfeld. Okay, I'm wrong. No, do they use Barry Sonnenfeld a lot? Who is theirs? Oh, okay. So sorry, the Coen Brothers and Barry Sonnenfeld. I guess I'm going to include him now in this.
Okay.
I really feel like they've evolved, because watching Blood Simple, it's I watch a lot of B horror movies, and Blood Simple kind of looks like a B horror movie.
Okay.
Like the way it's shot, like there's a lot of like grainy close-ups at like Dutch angles, and like it's not very like there's a few creative shots obviously because it's the Coen Brothers, but it's pretty subdued, and it's also pretty dark, like without much comedy, right?
Okay.
And I feel like they've kind of like they've gotten more flamboyant and like more lighthearted as they've gone on in a big way. Like really the only like really dark things they've done are No Country for Old Men, right? Like after a certain point, which is a book.
Yep.
And A Serious Man, which is like still kind of a black comedy.
Okay.
And I think that's like it's an interesting contrast to someone like Wes Anderson, who I feel like has just made the same movie 20 times over.
Yeah. I mean,
he's obviously Wes Anderson's great. I don't want to like shit on him. It's like, as a counterpoint.
I feel like Wes Anderson over time has like distilled himself down into like Wes Anderson, like The Thing, instead of like I feel like every movie that he makes just like narrows down even more his style.
But yes,
so like
he's like what I try to do with categorization when I'm trying to figure out genres. It's like, okay, what is a Wes Anderson movie? I really need to like figure out what that is.
Yeah, he's also trying to figure it out, and he's doing it in his movies.
Yeah, he's doing it, and he's discovered he's an animator apparently.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, like I like what was the last thing that I watched? I mean, because like the last thing that he did the Grand Budapest Hotel?
No, he did the dog movie, the animated dog movie.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch that.
And he might have even done another one after that. I haven't watched either of them, so I don't.
Yeah, I feel like after Grand Budapest Hotel, I feel like I got it. I was like, okay, that's what he's doing. Yeah. That's the thing.
Grand Budapest Hotel was amazing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I agree.
Oh, Isle of Dogs, and then The French Dispatch.
Oh, that hasn't come out yet, though.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking at Wikipedia.
I might watch French Dispatch. I don't know.
Yeah, because he did the Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was also really nice.
Which is like his best movie, ultimately.
I do really like it. I'm an athlete.
I think he realized that animation gave him full control, and like that was too much. Like he's been tainted now.
He's got to do that now forever.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I gotta animate.
Isle of Dogs. Oh, and it's Japanese. Also, I like how I don't mean to digress here completely. I'm just looking at the like the poster for it, and I like how the word isle is written inside of the kanji for dog, and that the word dog is written inside of the kanji for I assume to be island, since I don't recognize that particular one, but
oh wow, I haven't even looked really that hard at the poster. That's cool, yeah. I mean, he's so visual. That makes sense to me.
Yep, there we go. It's just weird. It's like you'd think that like they would, I mean, I guess you can't really switch them, because then the order would be wrong. But it's because it's dog. I guess it's Dog Island or Dog Isle instead of Isle of Dog. Anyway, sorry, just a small point, because the kanji for dogs is just really easily recognizable because it's a pretty simple one. So it's one of those ones I'm just like, oh, okay, I know that when I see it, and I'm just like, why is Isle written there? That's backwards. But anyway, okay, never mind. Anyway, sorry, small digression. I spend too much time thinking about and doing Japan things.
I mean, you essentially agree that they've gotten better and like they've taken risks as they've gone on. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Let me think about their okay.
The only, I mean, I will say this. The only thing I think that they like consistently do is they do like their like dramatic endings. They're like surprise, like kind of a twist almost.
So yeah, it's interesting because like the last one you watched was except for the bits of Hail Caesar and Buster Shrugs.
Yeah.
The last one
which I saw a long time ago.
The last one you watched is A Serious Man. The last one I watched is True Grit. True Grit came out 2010.
No. The last one I watched is Blood Simple.
No. Last one chronologically, not the last one from your perspective.
Oh. No. I mean, I've seen. Oh no, I guess The Serious Man is after all that. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, because it's interesting. Like, True Grit is very much in the vein to me of like Oh Brother Where Art Thou, like in that it's very like for despite the fact that like some serious shit happens in it, like it's pretty light, and it's funny.
Oh really?
Oh, True Grit, yeah.
True Grit?
Yeah. See, I didn't realize that True Grit is actually really funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a really serious.
So did I. Which is why I kind of like avoided it for so long because I thought it was gonna be
same.
like I thought it was gonna be kind of like a No Country for Old Men situation. True Grit is funny as hell.
Oh, okay.
And like Jeff Bridges is hilarious in it. Matt Damon's hilarious in it. Like it's good. It's good. It's funny. It's also serious at times, but like there's just like a lot of really good moments, and it's got a lot of those same like elements of like somebody who's really like I said really folksy, but I'm referring of course to Maddie, like the little girl, like really folksy, but also like very competent. So like
yes.
Like I said, constantly underestimated and like absolutely just like makes herself like she's like very incredibly headstrong and is just like no, this is the way it's going to happen. And then, things kind of tend to work out for her, which is like it creates so much like just natural comedy in the show, like in the show. I've been watching too many TV shows. In the movie.
Yeah, in the movie.
Yeah. It's like, no, True Grit is yeah. So if you were thinking, oh wow, I don't know if I want to watch.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to slog through some sort of dramatic, violent.
No,
thing. But if it's funny, definitely.
Yeah. Not only is it not a slog, it was like one of the easiest 2-hour watches I've ever. It's just like it blew by. I was like, oh, it's done. Like we were half an hour into it. I thought we were like 10 minutes into it. Like it's good. It's real good. But yeah, so it's when I think about like that kind of evolving style, like I feel like True Grit is in that sense a bit of a distillation because it is really nailing. Maybe not even a distillation.
Yeah, no, so let me say this. Let me clarify what I'm.
Go ahead.
What I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because I think I was a little general. I mean their like technical style. Obviously, their thematic stuff has been pretty consistent across all their works.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean,
but like their literal like their camera work and like
yes. Okay. Because yeah, True Grit is an exceptionally shot movie. Like it from like it is a really it looks good. It's like the camera, the way the camera is set up in it, like just like the shots in general. Like I mean, like it's not like artsy, like in the sense of like I'm not thinking of any particular shots where I'm like, oh wow, like it's not like one of those like a Wes Anderson movie where you're like, oh, like the first time you see one, you're like, wow, that's a really interesting framing of that shot, but it's just like the camera never gets in the way. Like I never notice that it's a movie. And like I feel like everything is just really well, like it is really well put together, and like the kind of like the color choices and stuff like that are all very nice, which is, that could, I feel like that actually is one of the things that they do in kind of the way that I'm thinking about this is I'm actually thinking about Burn After Reading, I think, when I'm thinking about this, but I recall the color choices. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but I
think color choice especially is one thing that I think they've gotten way better at.
Yeah.
Because Blood Simple is just like to watch for the most part when it comes to like the palette.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few exceptions. Like the main villain's color palette is great, but like when I think of Fargo, right? like the striking snow versus like the green cars, and like
Oh.
they really get that sense of like contrast going at a certain point.
As somebody who lived in Minnesota for like a non-zero amount of time, they really nail the feeling of just icy frigidness that is Minnesota in the winter. Like, like you feel it like with like the kind of like muted blues that like are kind of prevalent throughout that movie. Like they really nail that, because like I've been in Minnesota in the winter, and man, it feels like Minnesota in the winter.
Yeah, I think kind of like with their dialogue, right? It's like they figured out how to make you feel like you're experiencing something, despite the fact that they're obviously not recreating that thing.
Is the word, is that verisimilitude? Is that the right word?
Verisimilitude, maybe that sounds right.
Am I even pronouncing that right?
Verisimilitude, I think that's close.
The appearance of being true or real.
Yes, they have a very strong sense of verisimilitude.
There you go.
I
I really hope I'm any of you people that know how to pronounce things, please help us.
Words difficult, send help.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, yeah. But so let's talk about No Country for Old Men though, because I feel like for me that one is such an outlier compared to all their other movies, and I don't know if you would agree with that as well.
In what way is it an outlier?
Like, to me, No Country for Old Men almost doesn't seem like it was made by them. Like if I didn't know who made No Country for Old Men, I would probably guess that it was made by trying to pinpoint who I would think would have made that movie. Like if it wasn't them, because there's a director that I'm thinking of, and I'm not coming up with
Steven Spielberg.
You know what? Actually, that's not a bad guess. I think it's a little dark for Spielberg, but that's not a bad guess. But I think I'm thinking of somebody else, and I can't pinpoint who it is. But like when I'm watching that movie, I definitely don't get like a Coen Brothers vibe from it, which is, I mean, like growth is great, and being able to like do movies that are kind of outside of your norm, like is only a plus. It's just like it does not seem like one of their movies.
Are you thinking like, does it look like a Frank Darabont film?
No, you know what? Here's what I'm thinking of. You know what it feels like? Oh, actually, you know what? Frank Darabont. That's not a bad guess. I think what I'm thinking of is I might be thinking of Scorsese.
Okay, you know why I think you think that?
Why?
Is because Roger Deakins was the cinematographer for a bunch of movies, including like Brother Where Art Thou, like some of the Bond movies.
Roger Deakins.
Shawshank Redemption. Oh, he was cinematographer on Fargo, though. Oh, that's interesting. Because that has to have some impact on, like, the feel of the look of the movie.
Yeah, Frank Darabont,
like,
though.
Beyond just...
Another good one, though, because Frank Darabont, yeah, I mean, Shawshank Redemption, I do get that, like, kind of feel. But, yeah, when I say Scorsese, because when I think of Scorsese, I think, like, just really, like... I think, like... just like the way that the shots are done in No Country for Old, like as much as I can remember, like I feel like there's there's a lot of like just gravity to like the scenes in the way that they're shot, and it feels very like just, I don't know. I feel like Scorsese does a lot of really like serious,
maybe I can put
movies.
it into words here. Does it kind of feel, in the sense that we were saying that the Coen Brothers do the verisimilitude.
Yeah,
verisimilitude. Oh
verisimilitude.
I can't say it now. Verisimilitude, thank you. Like No Country for Old Men, Shawshank Redemption, they look real, but they don't feel real. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say.
The only thing with Frank Darabont, because when I think Frank Darabont,
like they are more real,
yeah,
but because of that, they look less real. Yeah.
But like Darabont did The Mist, right? Am I making that up?
Let me bring back up his wiki page that I was looking at. The Mist. He did do The Mist.
He did do The Mist. Yeah. So,
and that does look a lot like
there's something about The Mist where it's like it very much, and I think Shawshank is similar in that.
Yeah, but Ron Schmidt was the cinematographer for The Mist, so that doesn't. There's no connection there anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
So maybe maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe the cinematographer doesn't have as much to do with it.
Yeah. Well, because
it may be a dead end.
I do think that The Mist and Shawshank Redemption have a similar type of look of like they feel like they have like even though they like are very much like a location, and like there's very much like a you know, I mean, especially Shawshank, which does have like some really nice outdoor shots. Whereas, I mean, like obviously The Mist is all shot in a grocery store, but like I feel like when Darabont does like indoor stuff, it has very much a feeling of like almost like it feels very staged in a good way, but like it does to me. I don't know what it is about it. Like he makes what looks like a very real place feel like a set location to me, in the way that I think he frames things, in a way that I don't think at least in my mind, I don't feel like Scorsese does. Like I feel like when Scorsese like puts together a scene, and I mean, I think
actually what you just said really hit on it for me. When you said it's like it feels like a scene, it No Country for Old Men almost feels disconnected.
Yeah.
Like it feels like you're moving from like disconnected location to disconnected location.
You know what? I think I might be starting to agree with you now that I'm thinking, because like I think about like that.
Because so many other movies have such a great sense of space and like location.
Yeah.
And like No Country for Old Men just kind of feels like, oh, you're going everywhere.
Almost like they're trying to hide like the outside bits of the frame, like if they were to pan at all, you would see the soundstage and it would ruin everything. I think I actually am starting to agree with you about Frank Darabont, because you're right. Like when I think about that first like convenience store scene in No Country for Old Men, it's that very close feeling of like,
yeah, you're in this interior space.
Yes, and it feels like they don't want you to see what's outside of it, because it is just this confined like area, which I mean definitely helps with the tension of that scene. But like, so yeah, that is what is interesting to me is going back to the point that I made before. It feels more like a Frank Darabont film than it does a Coen Brothers film from start to finish. I don't get the vibe of Coen Brothers nearly as much as I do in their other films, and I don't think that it's just due to the fact that it's a book. Because
I was about to say that
because True Grit's a book too, you know, and True Grit like 100% is like. Because I've never seen like the old one, like
but True Grit's a Western.
Yeah,
though. I mean that's cheating.
Well, I mean I don't know if it is necessary,
because the landscape is a character in a Western.
But even the tone, you know, like because like
okay, yeah, sure.
Because like the tone of True Grit is so light, and I don't know what the original novel is like, and I've never seen the original like I think it's a John Wayne film. Like I've never seen the original John Wayne True Grit, so I don't know like what the tone of that one was. But like True Grit, it's either they injected that tone or they just picked a book that already had the tone that they're kind of comfortable with. But you know, No Country for Old Men, like I don't know how you could make. I mean, I guess I could see how you could make it light, but it would be a very different movie.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're saying it's not, but I think the source material just has a lot to do with it here.
But the thing,
I feel like
I don't disagree, but they picked the source material on purpose, you know, like
sure,
because isn't Burn After Reading also a book? Am I crazy?
So No Country for Old Men was their first novel adaptation, right?
Is that true?
Yes. I mean, I'm reading the Wikipedia page, so it says it in quotes. It says the brothers' first adaptation in quotes. I don't know what that means.
Okay. Yeah, so Burn After Reading wasn't. That was for some reason I thought that was a book. I don't know why I thought that.
Because Miller's Crossing is technically 2 books. I see. But they didn't adapt it. Like they did a screenplay from the book for No Country, and I think that's like because you know, a book, if it's not a Western where the landscape is so important, you know, a book is not going to go to a lot of effort to describe the outside locations of its scenes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think just like when they wrote it, there just like wasn't room almost for like their big sweeping landscape shots that they like. Mm-hmm. Because everything else they wrote themselves, and so obviously they get to just interject that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. So maybe there is something to that of like they were trying to just faithfully adapt a book versus you know.
And it's also Cormac McCarthy, who I'm pretty sure is like a famous author of some renown. So to screw it up would be like very offensive, you know.
I'm just looking through here. I want to see if is True Grit like.
Yeah, the Wikipedia page is not going to help you on that front. It says nothing about its comedy value.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I was looking.
Oh well. Oh well.
You're getting a peek behind the curtain here on the podcast. It's just us looking at Wikipedia articles frantically.
Oh, they'll never hear this. I'm gonna cut all this out.
Oh, good, great. I get to look smart.
Yeah. Well, I mean that is really my entire goal, is making us look much smarter than we are. So I cut out all the Wikipedia. People are like, wow, how do they know all this stuff just off the cuff? It's like, oh, because we don't. That's how.
We don't at
that's
all.
the magic, you know. And then I leave this part in, so that people are like, what the hell are they talking about? But yeah.
Okay, no. It is because the other novel he wrote is also funny. So statistically, I would say he's probably writing funny novels.
Oh, the writer of True Grit.
True Grit, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the writer of True Grit, Charles Portis, his other novel Norwood is a comedy.
Yeah, because honestly, like from start to finish, it feels very difficult.
Oh, Portis has been described as one of the most inventively comic writers of Western fiction. Yeah.
But there you go. Okay, so that makes sense.
So there we go.
Yeah, so
it's the fact that No Country for Old Men is just a horribly depressing book.
Yeah, so they just faithfully adapted it, I guess is the point. And with True Grit, they also just faithfully adapted. It just happened that they picked a book that was much closer to their style than No Country for Old Men. Which, again, far be it from me to tell them what their style is. They can adapt whatever the hell they want. But
No. They have a style.
Yes.
They cannot deny that fact.
Yes, but I think that True Grit, that No Country for Old Men really does feel like an outlier. I guess that's the point that I'm coming to, is it just does.
So No Country for Old Men is actually very similar to Blood Simple, is the thing.
Really? Okay, so then
it's like, yeah, that's the link that you're missing.
Okay, so it's not that it's an outlier, it's a return to form.
Exactly. They're remaking their first movie again. And that's probably why they chose No Country for Old Men, because they read it and they were like, oh wow, this is like exactly what we were trying to say 20 years ago.
Fair enough.
Because it's like, I mean, there's even like the same beats almost. I mean, I guess Blood Simple is a little more hopeful than No Country for Old Men.
Is just a downer start to finish.
Yeah, which really puts into perspective how much of a downer No Country for Old Men is. Because Blood Simple is a downer.
Yeah.
99%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but No Country for Old Men, just like start to finish, it's just like nothing is going to go right for you. Like the second you
100%.
The second you find that money and take it, nothing is going to go right for you. Yeah. Which is to be fair, the one like kind of shade of them that I see in that is it's like the realistic version of like the Jerry Lundegaard type of character, of like, just things are just getting worse and worse and worse, like, but like not in like a funny way, just like they're just like, don't steal from criminals who really want their money, because they'll just kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll get it.
And that is not uncommon though in their well, maybe not totally maybe not totally common, but like of like people getting involved with criminals, like people that are not criminals getting involved with criminals and really not like appreciating what they're getting into is definitely something that they do. Like that's not an uncommon theme.
And that's Blood Simple in a nutshell. I mean, you summed it up in a sentence.
Oh, interesting. I think I have to watch this movie then, because I think I'd probably really like it.
Blood Simple is great.
Okay, I'm gonna put that on the list.
It's very. I mean, I'll say it again. It looks like a B horror movie in some ways, but it's great.
Definitely gonna watch that. So, I think those are all the elements I wanted to cover. Did you have any other notes or anything you wanted to talk about with the Coen Brothers?
Yeah. What's your favorite Coen Brothers movie?
Oh, yeah. Of course. How could I?
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten the technical discussion out of the way. Now we can like actually talk about them.
Damn. How did I miss that? I meant to even ask that. Okay. Okay. I think I have two. And I'm cheating a little bit. So I think
that's fine. I'm gonna cheat too, no doubt.
I think that overall, Fargo is my favorite out of all of them. But I think the ending for Burn After Reading. I don't know why I said No Country for. The ending for Burn After Reading is probably one of my favorite endings to any movie ever, because like Burn After Reading, I actually like. I found like through most of the movie, I was like, what the hell is even happening here? And then we got to the end of the movie, and the FBI agents are like, what the hell is even happening here? And I'm like, yeah, I know! I was like, that's the movie! I was like... So because for most of Burn After Reading, like I really like I don't even think I was enjoying it. I was just like, this is like I was like, is this dumb? I'm like, is this a dumb movie? And at the end of the movie, they were like, it's a dumb movie, and I'm like, it's a dumb movie. But I think that Fargo for me has like some of the most like quotable elements and some of the best lines. I mean, Big Lebowski too is really great. You know, like Big Lebowski is a fun movie, but I wouldn't count it among my favorites. But Fargo, I mean, like just like from start to finish, it's just such an entertaining and good movie. So yeah, I would say Fargo, favorite. Burn After Reading, honorable mention for the amazing ending.
Yes, yeah. I would say Barton Fink, I think, is maybe my favorite. Because John Goodman is just so good in it. But I also agree, Burn After Reading, honorable mention. That might be like, if I was going to rewatch a Coen Brothers film, I think that's the one I would want to rewatch again.
Oh, I think me too. I really, because I never watched it again, and I really feel like that might be worth a second watch, knowing how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's such a fun movie.
Oh, and it's so, like, the whole scene with, what's his face? George Clooney.
Yes, George Clooney, yes.
George Clooney in the closet, like, shooting
exactly.
Brad Pitt in the face. Like, I love like that, like, because like up until that point, like it's kind of like most of the movie is just kind of like lighthearted. It's like, oh, okay, they're getting into like wacky hijinks, and then it's like all of a sudden it's just like, oh no, it's not wacky anymore.
Yeah, this is serious.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, it's such a good movie. Yeah,
and like, you know, and again, that gets back to that same kind of discussion about like kind of underestimation of like, you know, you hear George Clooney throughout the entire movie like bragging about like, oh, it's just muscle memory, you know, like I'm like a wound spring, you know, like at any moment, like, you know, if I could, you know, I could just and kill the guy, and then like when push comes to shove. You're exactly right. He's exactly right. Like, he really is just a reflex, you know? It's like somebody...
He is who he is.
He is who he is, you know? He was not bluffing. He was absolutely right. It's like, you know, if he needs to take somebody out at a moment's notice, he can. It happens to be somebody that had no, like, was not
a threat in any way.
Not a threat in any way. But he was a tightly wound sprig. He was ready to go in a moment. So, I love that about that. And I think George Clooney... Like, for somebody who is not, like, I do not think of as a comedic actor, like, they really bring a lot of comedy out of him, for sure, in that movie.
Yeah, I honestly think that the Coen Brothers, like, as good as their serious movies are, their comedy movies are, like, what I really like from them.
Well, yeah, because they can bring comedy out of anybody. Like, I think they're able to, like, find what is funny about a person and then, like, put that on screen, you know? And it's just fantastic, you know?
Yeah, they get the joke.
They get the joke.
Whatever the joke is, they're getting
it. And, like, I feel like even if the actors didn't get the joke...
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because they know how to put them in a situation where the joke will land. And it's like, oh, I love it. I mean, even Clooney in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Again, he's like, he's really funny in that, you know? And I really just don't think of him much as a comedic actor. Maybe he is. I honestly don't.
No, I do think of Clooney as a comedic actor, honestly.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, he's more of like a dramedy actor.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I'm thinking of like, I mean, he's kind of like the straight man, I guess, role. Because I mean, like if I'm thinking about him in,
that's true.
Yeah, like if I'm thinking about him in like Ocean's 11 or something like that, like he's just like the, okay, come on, guys, like, you know, can we just get it together?
He still plays that role even in the Coen Brothers, even in Burn After Reading. He's kind of the straight man.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah, not as much as bald man drummer abuse guy. The FBI head.
Oh, God.
Spider-Man news reporter. God damn it.
Yes. Fuck. What's his name?
Bald head, drummer, abuse, Spider-Man newspaper reporter man.
Not John Malkovich.
Not Jonah Jameson. That's the character.
Yeah, it's J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, thank you.
Yeah, Cave Johnson, right? Cave Johnson.
Cave Johnson, yeah. All of the things, the man is everywhere.
He's fantastic. I feel like he can't not be funny.
Whoever J.K. Simmons' agent is amazing.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. No, J.K. Simmons is fantastic.
Yeah, so good.
I also didn't realize that John Malkovich and J.K. Simmons are in Burn After Reading. That's confusing.
Oh, yeah, wow.
John Malkovich, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Talk about another tour de force actor.
I don't know why I always confuse J.K. Simmons and John Malkovich. Maybe is it literally just because they're both bald? I think that might be the only reason.
Oh yeah. Well, also Jay's.
That's true. Jay and bald. Okay, I was. You know, the deck was stacked against me from the start. So
we were both trained in the same alphabetical memory system. it's a flaw of our brains now.
We're screwed in that sense.
Yeah. Anytime I need to think of anything and it has the same letter as something else, it's just like, well, my filing system.
Steven.exe has failed.
Yeah, it happens a lot. It's not great.
It's fair enough. Oh man. But yeah.
Oh, you should definitely check out Hail Caesar too.
Hail Caesar.
It's their 2016 movie they did about like it's great. It's just another really funny like period piece movie with George Clooney.
It's George Clooney and Josh Brolin. Is that Josh Brolin? Yeah. Look at that.
And Jonah Hill and Scarlett Johansson and Ralph Fiennes.
Tilda Swinton.
Oh, Tilda Swinton. Oh.
Tilda Swinton's great.
So good.
Tilda Swinton is a gem.
Best.
Like, everything that she's in is just fantastic.
Oh, what was that? Did I tell you about that one movie I watched with her in it?
I think so, but tell me again, because I don't remember what it was.
Where she plays two people. Oh, it was Suspiria.
Okay.
And like I thought she played two people, and it turns out she plays three people. I didn't even realize she was the third person the whole time. And it was just like, wait, what? That's also Tilda Swinton? Ah!
Oh my god.
Blew my mind. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, that's all I have to say, I guess, about the Coen Brothers.
Yeah. I mean, they are... I genuinely look forward to films by them. I feel like they are one of those directors that, like, they haven't gotten stale for me. Like, in a way that... I hate to say this, but, like... So, like... And maybe I just am missing out on some good movies, but like I feel like I started to like wear out on Quentin Tarantino.
Oh God, well yeah, of course.
Because like I never watched Hateful Eight, but I was like I can imagine what this movie is. So
Hateful Eight is actually kind of a departure for him. I might check that out if you're tired of him.
Okay, and then
because it's a pretty good movie.
I do have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood queued up because I'm under the impression that is also a departure for him.
I would say that's less of a departure.
Oh really? So I have those completely backwards. That's interesting.
Yeah, I might be just wrong about that, but I don't. I mean, I've seen both of them, and Hateful Eight feels way more reserved.
Okay,
like. Once a Time in Hollywood is like a full-on Tarantino movie.
Really?
Whereas like Hateful Eight is like
I'm surprised because
it has
because I thought that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was like semi like well I mean it's based on somewhat true events, right? In the sense that like
in the same way that like the Germany movie is.
Oh, okay. So it's
Inglourious Basterds. It's like it's a like let me change history to be satisfying kind of movie.
Okay. That's interesting.
I shouldn't have said that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because like I think after Django was so similar to like so many of the other things that he did. It was like the West.
Django is his worst movie.
Really? Okay.
I think so. It's like it's fine, but like it's very derivative of like I don't feel like he tried very hard.
Do we want to have a Quentin Tarantino episode? Do we have enough to say about that?
I don't think I do.
I don't think I do either, because I thought about it after you suggested Coen Brothers. I was like, I've watched basically every Quentin Tarantino movie minus two, and I could easily watch them. Like, would it be worth having a discussion? But like,
if we were going to do a Quentin Tarantino movie podcast, we would have to do a podcast about the films that inspired the films that he did.
Yeah, I think that's...
It would not be about him.
Yeah, because that he is. I feel, and you know, to be fair, some of my favorite movies are Quentin Tarantino movies.
He makes great movies.
No
question.
But like his, he's very much like an homage director. He is.
Yeah, he's an encyclopedia of like better or like at the time at least more interesting directors who he's aped.
Yeah, although
very well.
Yeah, very well. Although that being said, I still love Jackie Brown. Like,
oh yes, yeah. I mean that's a real movie by him.
Yeah, it's like forget everything else he's done. That movie is actually like a real masterpiece because it's like you can see his elements in there, but he's toned them down so much because he really was just trying to make a vehicle for an actor that he likes.
Yeah, it's most of Tarantino's movies are like he's a yappy like lapdog, like a tiny like chihuahua or something that's just like won't shut up, and it's like he needs to shut up sometimes and like let the movie do the work instead of like forcing it.
Yes, he is one of those directors that is very much like he
Wes Anderson style.
Yeah, that he very much like is the movie. Like the movie is sold by him and not by the movie. You know?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, that like his like interacting with it and making it like you feel his presence much more than you do some other directors who it's like more like, oh, okay, I can see where this fits into their general style versus like if he does something different, you're like, wait, what? Quentin Tarantino made a movie that was like that? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's the guy who like wrote the original like comics the Avengers are based off of. Oh, I don't remember his name now. It's like Brian something. He's also that way, where like every character is just you hearing the author speaking.
Yeah.
And there's no actual character there. It's just the words that the author would say coming out of different mouths occasionally. It's like, yeah, you're just having an argument with yourself here, essentially. Like, I don't need to be here.
It's like, is my presence even necessary?
Yeah. There's like a 10-minute, I mean, it's not actually 10 minutes. But it's like literally 5 minutes, I think, of like a shot of Margot Robbie's feet in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And it's just like, you could have just cut this and like kept it in your personal collection, Quentin. Like, you didn't need to like put it on the screen to like justify it. Like, we know you have a foot fetish. Like, let's move on, please.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the friggin' what's it called? Kill Bill was enough to very much establish that.
Yeah.
If not the one that he did with
Samuel Hayek.
Yeah, in what the fuck is that movie called?
Yeah, I don't fucking
From Dusk Till Dawn.
It's From Dusk
Which
Till
wasn't
Dawn.
even
Yeah,
his
that
movie.
is another...
He was just an actor in that. I mean, I think he like
and he still fucking got feet. Yeah. Just like, that man is a fiend.
It's in his contract.
Yeah, I bet it is in his contract.
It's in his contract.
I'm waiting for like the Me Too about Quentin Tarantino like ogling people's feet.
You know, the fact that it hasn't happened now makes me wonder if he's just a really respectful guy about it. You know, he's just like,
oh, I'm sure he's a great guy. I mean, yeah, I shouldn't call a Me Too down on somebody, but I figure, you know, we only got 50 people listening to the podcast or something. So
yeah, but if we start throwing that kind of shit out there, then it's gonna be thousands of people.
Hey, listen, if anyone's got a scoop on any Quentin Tarantino dirt, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not open to that or anything.
Wow. Okay, Gawker. Oh man. All right. So, I mean, anything else? I think we covered the bases.
Yeah, this was a tight 90.
Tight 90, man. Yeah. Which, I mean, when it's cut, this you know, this might be our shortest podcast in a while. Which, honestly, for me, that's okay. Every once in a while, we can throw out a short one.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
I like recording them. I don't relish editing 2-hour podcasts. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, but what should we do next time? Did you want to do a music podcast next time, or did you want to do something else? Or do we don't even have to decide now?
I mean, if you want to give me a few days, let's do a music one, and I can figure out what I want to give you.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I have a giant list of stuff, so if we want to do another music podcast, I am perfectly content to do that.
I mean, I also have a giant list of stuff, but I want to put in a couple personal ones alongside that, because a lot of that's from Mason.
Yeah, well, that is the one thing. Are you gonna shoot me stuff that you are not otherwise interested in, but you think that I would like?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, but like as one of the one, because like that's
yes, I trust Mason's taste in music enough that I would be interested. I know I'd also be interested in hearing the album myself, and it's a good excuse to do.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It just works.
As long as you're into listening to it, then I think we're good.
I like all music. I like some music way more than other music, but I like all of it. I might also throw you a few just like individual songs, because like I've said, that's like the way I listen to a lot of music, and I have one or two that it's like I don't know about an album, but. You know,
the only other thing that we had on here that would be interesting to talk about is Twin Peaks, but I have to rewatch a bunch of stuff as well. Which,
oh boy, yeah,
I don't know if I'm ready for that one yet.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch that video on Twin Peaks. Too.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I'd have to. I probably would watch that. I would watch that video. I'd be like, "What was Twin Peaks again?" Let me remind myself everything.
Yeah, which I don't think that I've come around to the thinking that is an incomplete theory ultimately, just because of people not having singular ideas about things.
Yeah. That might be an interesting one for sure at some point then. But
yes, we could definitely talk about that for a while.
But let's do music next time. So you won't know the albums that are coming up, but maybe by the time I edit this one, I will know the albums,
for sure.
And I will put them in the comments. So if we're doing a music podcast next, you'll know because I'll have put the albums in the comments, and hopefully I will listen to this when a month or two from now when I actually edit this and remember that I said that to myself. So
yes, make sure to put the albums in the comments.
There we go. Albums in the comments. Thank you, past Jason, for helping out future Jason, who did not remember this. All right. Sounds good, man. I will talk to you later.
Yeah. Peace.
See ya.